Welcome to a Insights episode where today I'm talking with entrepreneur Connor Wells. Connor, welcome.
How you doing, mate?
Good. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to share with us your story.
Anytime, mate. Anytime.
Yeah. So this is all about how you as an entrepreneur became, I guess, an entrepreneur. And I think knowing you as I do, comes from when you were very young. Actually, you've always, I think, naturally been an entrepreneur.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And so I'd just love to hear that story. And then how you have, I guess, managed to go full-time and be a full-time entrepreneur in the midst of what has been quite a difficult 2020. So
very weird times.
Perhaps share a little bit about your story and a little bit about how you've managed to achieve what you're achieving.
So my jump, like skipping a few chapters and then I'll go back, but my jump to, I guess, being self-employed was probably, when you look at it from the outside, probably like the worst time to do it. My backstory is I worked in nurseries for about 5 or 6 years looking after children. During that time, it was a rewarding job, really rewarding job. You know, I got a lot from it. It was nice to see children achieve, but it wasn't my true passion. My true passion was creating music, creating videos, photography, just merging those sort of three art forms, I guess, together to create something magical, something beautiful. And coronavirus started to come about, and I thought, you know, schools and stuff are going to be closed down. It seems like now is a better time than any. I can't physically go into work. Now is a good time to make that leap. And with the help from you taking me on, with me editing your videos and photography and filming your podcasts, perfect timing, really.
Yeah, I remember meeting you back in January, of 2020, and you know, we hadn't really heard of coronavirus at that point. It was still, it was vaguely in the background of something happening in China.
The scary thing is, we went to VidCon in February together, and now that entire building is something completely different.
Totally.
And then like a month later, it's all
they turned it into a hospital, didn't they? Which is crazy. Yeah. But I remember in January kind of talking about, you know, I personally, not blowing my own trumpet, but spotted your talent. You know, like I could see, you know, this amazing ability that you have to create amazing things from nothing, content, music, insights, all the things you do in your YouTube channel. I think you know, really, really talented, but you weren't on it full time. Although I feel like
side hustle.
Yeah, side hustle, which I think is how a lot of people start. And so, you know, jumping from that side hustle to full time, I think for so many people that's the dream.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't have the confidence either to do it. It's scary. There's a lot of things to think about, a lot of things to weigh up, lots of what ifs, but I think you just got to go for it.
Where does confidence come from, do you think?
That's a tricky one, because some people are naturally confident. See, we talk a lot about superpowers. My superpower is autism. And that brings about my confidence to create. You know, I said in a video I did the other day, put me on a stage in front of 1 million people, put me, you know, under the pressure of filming a massive event, and I'd be set. Put me in a room full of 30 people and ask me to have a conversation with each and every one of them. That's when my confidence drops. So I think people's confidence lies in what they're interested in, what their passion is.
That's interesting, because I think for a lot of people, I would say 9 out of 10 people, it's the opposite. Put them in a room of, you know, 10, 15, 20 people and they'd be very happy. Put them in front of 1 million people on stage and they'd be totally nervous, which is, you know, as you say, a superpower. My superpower is dyslexia, you know, because I can't read very well. I used to get people to read books to me or read lots of, I'd have 10 people read the same book and then give me their opinion on it. So I'd have 10 different views on that book. So it turned into a superpower for me. So
definitely.
It's amazing how you've turned autism into that superpower for you.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be doing any of this if it wasn't for that. It's very much my sort of tunnel vision, my drive for everything.
Yeah, and I guess I say I want people to understand how you move from a job you love, which again, that's another unusual thing. A lot of people will probably say, I hate my job, that's why they want to start a business. The fact that you actually liked your job.
I did like my job, that's the thing.
But it's amazing to me you still knew that it wasn't the right thing for you to do. Because a lot of people do hate their job, and it's easy to say then they want to do something else, but to actually love what you do and still realize it's not what you're meant to be doing, that's a very
it's the realization of, despite I did love my job, it would say like a 9 out of 10, but doing this is that extra one that making it a 10 out of 10 for me.
Can you remember the moment when you said, right, I'm no longer, employed, I'm totally self-employed?
I think it was the Thursday, the Friday, the day after, the day of all the schools and everything being locked down, and I was at home basically being my own boss then. I was like, I was working on your videos, working on editing photos for people, working on my videos, and I just thought, I'm at home doing my job now. This is my job now.
What a crazy time to become self-employed.
Yeah, weird time.
Yeah, it's everything's not normal.
Yeah.
And so, I know a large part of your self-employment comes from the gigs that you do and the music that you do.
That was the first.
So that all got killed, right? I mean, that
got absolutely butchered. I lost about 50 gigs from the coronavirus.
And how about now? Is it coming back?
It's slowly. I mean, at the time of recording this video, I don't want to date it, but at the time of recording this video, everything's a little bit up in the air. We don't know whether there's going to be if there is or was another lockdown. Gigs are picking up, but only outside. So for people whose sole income is just music, they're worried. For me, it's not too bad because I've got other sources of passive income, whether it's editing for someone, filming for someone, doing photographs, editing them. I've got other things to fall back on, so to speak. Gigs are picking up for me now, but it is at the moment, like other people, very much reliant on the weather and the venue's capacity for it, really.
And again, I think that like you say, we want people to not have to refer back to coronavirus all the time. I think we all get sick and tired of having to talk about that subject. But
definitely,
I think it is you're an interesting story in the sense that in hard times, people go for a job normally, they think it's safe.
Yeah.
Right. And let's face it, in 2020, nothing feels safe.
Nothing
anymore.
is safe.
Although, going out there and being in control of your own destiny as you have now done, starting your own business, almost would be counterintuitive to a lot of people. But I think it's safer than if you'd stayed at a nursery. You perhaps, ironically, luckily you got out before the crush came. But if you
when you look at it from the outside, leaving your job a day before lockdown, people might think, what the hell are you doing? Like, are you stupid? Like, why would you do that? You've got a secure job. You've got furlough scheme that's going to kick in. Why would you leave a job to start your own business, which is really, really risky? But for me, it worked out to be the best decision ever. So, I mean, I've always advocated that there's jobs out there for those who want them. I've never not been employed. I mean, I'm not employed now, but I've never not been working. From 12 years old, I was doing free people's paper rounds because they quit. So I was delivering 500 papers a week. I would get the papers on a Wednesday, load them all up with leaflets and deliver them, all these 500 papers, over the Thursday and Fridays after school. That's my first job. Moved on to working in cafes, working in bars, restaurants, hotels. Then moved on to a completely different thing, which was childcare, but still knowing all along that wasn't my true, not say destiny because that sounds really cringy, but it wasn't really my true destiny, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's a path. It's a path to get where you want to go. I mean, I think that's the right way to go about it sometimes as well. But you've taken this leap. You are now building your own brand, building your own company. It's very exciting.
Definitely.
Bit of a cheesy question, but 5 years from now, where do you see yourself?
That's tricky, isn't it? I've asked for a few people like that, musicians and people who I've had on my sort of stuff. They've always said, most of them have all said that a few months ago I would have known that answer, but because everything is so different now, it's hard to say. But yeah, just scale things up really for me. Scale things up, help you with your mission, help myself with my mission. I've started a series about mental health, and I've had amazing support with that, and I want to sort of keep that conversation going. And just basically scale things up from here.
Well, I'm a big fan of what you've done. As always, with these videos, we'll put your links down below.
Cheers, mate.
I'm sure you'll share it on your channel too.
Of course.
The Purposeful Project, which is the whole platform that you are helping us build, is designed to help people start businesses in difficult times.
Absolutely.
Start their purposeful job as you have done, a purposeful business.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming on and sharing your story. And well, you're always in the background here at the Purposeful Project.
I'm always in like the background of a photo or video somewhere.
Totally. If anything's shot here, folks, anything good that you like is always shot by Connor. But Connor, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for sharing your story.
Anytime, mate.
Thanks for being a part of our community.
Anytime. I'm going to go and edit this now.
Perfect.